what kind of life people live there, what are the places that make them, what are the situations that make them. It's about meeting yourself, finding yourself. You spend so much time with yourself. You go out alone, you take walks, there's no one to talk to.
Yo guys, namaskaram. So, Debukidastak is a platform where we talk on mental health and a lot of other sensitive issues, right? So basically, the entire aim of this channel is to build a community around sensitive issues and make people feel comfortable about themselves. So basically, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Our mission is to empower you with ideas to live smartly and joyfully. The world is full of suffering, but let us increase our competence to deal with things joyfully. And just a tip, so all these are basically conversations, so I might suggest that you should watch these conversations at 1.5x. You can increase the playback speed through the button in the settings. Cheers and enjoy watching. So I just also wanted to delve into a little bit of topics, just some final questions so that we can kind of wrap this up because I think we're kind of short on time. So these are some questions which usually I do it as a rapid fire, but yeah, I would definitely love to hear your perspective. You can take your entire time, right? So the first question is, of course, like when do you think of the word successful, right? What is the first person that comes to your mind and why? For what qualities?
Oh my God, successful. My mother.
Okay. Okay.
And she's a housewife. Now you
Hmm.
might think why successful and whatever. I think just in life, she's very successful in the way she's leading it.
Hmm.
Uh, we've all had problems. We all have problems in life. We've seen a lot of things.
Hmm.
Everybody does. But
Hmm.
I think the kind of life she's leading,
Hmm.
despite everything, and the kind of examples she said,
Hmm.
I think that's very motivating. And I think she's successfully doing everything she does.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Like, what specific qualities do you admire in her, roughly speaking?
Her patience.
Hmm, hmm.
I
Okay.
love how patient she is. I don't think I'm that
Hmm,
patient, but she's been patient throughout.
hmm,
Whatever happens, she's been very patient, and I think I love that about her.
hmm, 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 hmm. Got it. Cool. I think that's definitely patience is a rare skill these days, but yeah, totally agreed. Cool. So, next question is mostly from an artistic slash reader's perspective. So, what is the book or books that you have gifted the most to other people, or if you haven't any, let's say, so what are your favorite books which made a deep impression on your heart and soul?
Um, I think it's not something that's uh, inspiring per se, but I
Hmm,
really love reading Ghalib's
hmm,
biography.
hmm,
So it's something I've been reading for a while, and just the way I have an interest in poems, and I
hmm,
do poetry sometimes. I'm not so
hmm,
good at it, but yeah,
hmm.
just the way it's been written and just the way the life has been described, I think it's just beautiful. And I have shared that with a lot of people, and I think they've loved it too.
Acha. I'll also need a copy. Cool. Sounds good. Cool. So on the same, like, any favorite movies or documentaries that inspired you deeply? Because for me, they have played a major part in my life. But yeah, I would love to hear your favorite movies and documentaries.
I I don't think that's my answer. You're going to like it too much.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Okay.
So I'm someone who cannot see, who cannot watch very heavy documentaries or heavy movies or
Hmm,
series
hmm,
or anything like that.
hmm,
I like something light-hearted and all of that. So I had rough phases in my life. At
hmm,
some points, I was very low.
hmm,
I
hmm,
think
hmm,
I've
hmm.
loved Gilmore Girls a lot.
Sure.
That's a series you want. That's
Hmm,
an answer you won't hear from a lot of people.
hmm,
But yeah, I'll tell you why.
hmm, hmm,
Because the lady, the mother there,
hmm, hmm,
she was the way she's been living her life, the way they show it,
hmm,
is very inspiring. It's just,
hmm,
it sets an example of how you should take things, behave in different situations, and deal with stressful situations and everything. And I think every time I watch it, it
hmm,
cheers me up and helps me,
hmm,
go
hmm,
back to my normal cheerful mood. So
hmm,
I'm
hmm,
sure
hmm, hmm.
you won't like my answer, but that's
No, 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 that's
what
fine.
it is.
Totally agreed. Yeah, I think I kind of read this somewhere that I think it was by Naval that he says that just read the same 100 books, like the top 100 books which you find in life over and over again, because at every point of life you're growing at a certain pace, and at every point of time those things, the same things would hit you differently, and who knows what impact that would make out in your life, roughly speaking, in the longer run. So yeah, definitely that's the answer I most like. So there are no right or wrong answers, but yeah, great. So any favorite quotes that you have, or like do you live by one?
I can't think of any at the moment. There is not something that, I
A
go
writer
by
does
or
not say, a writer does
anything.
not say such things.
Oh, not really. Nothing's
Hmm,
coming in my
hmm.
mind right now.
Okay, 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 okay.
There are just too many things. There's just
Hmm,
too many things I've read. I mean, but yeah, nothing that's
hmm.
coming in my mind right now that I can share.
Got it, got it. Not an issue. Cool. So, any major failures in your life, like like, do you have a favorite failure of yours that kind of maybe you cherish a lot, right? And that helps you in the long run. Any apparent failure you keep in your mind?
Any apparent failure I keep in my mind. I think it's when I started my job.
Haji. Hmm.
We are not really good with everything. That's something I learned. I think before that, I've not had a big fall in my career or academics or anything of that sort. I did not take a break or anything.
Hmm.
I did my schooling, immediately started doing my graduation, then my MBA. Then I started doing my job. That was like a very, very different thing for me. So in the initial stages, I think I did a lot of, you know, I don't want to say that word, but yeah, I messed up a few things. So, but then I realized that I can't be good at everything. I think this is something that I need to work on. So not a major failure. I've not had a major failure that is like life changing or something.
Samjha. Okay.
But yeah,
Got it, got it. So, what are your future startup ideas, right? Some of the ideas which we can also take help with, or maybe we can execute it earlier than you.
I am not the kind of a person who would, start any startup or anything of that sort. I am sure you've seen me in that phase when I was in graduation, I was in my college.
Hmm.
But I think at this moment, I'm just comfortable doing what I'm doing right now. And I am really liking my job. I'm able to do other things. There's work that I like to do right now is just travel. I am sure you've seen me doing that a lot
Yep,
of
yep,
late.
yep, 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 yep.
And yes, that's the
Hmm.
goal. If I am not doing a job anywhere, I think I would be traveling.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, yeah. Great. Yeah, definitely. I think that's totally one thing. I remember the first encounter I've had with you. It was, I think, just selling Indian tickets or something, and you were kind of bashing all of us.
I was, yeah,
that that
I
was
was the same. I know.
that was the only experience I've had of you. But I totally understand now. So
I kind of understand where you're coming from and where this
yeah.
you've seen me in that phase doing all of that stuff, running around, selling tickets for either an NGO or for my own society, or
Hmm.
asking people to come for my events and then reporting for YouMirror or
Hanji.
just doing multiple internships. So anybody would think that I would, be
Hmm.
doing starting a startup or something in the future. But I think goals change, you figure out more things when you are just leading your life.
Hmm. Agreed. I think traveling, for that matter, has also impacted your life in a very subtle way, right? So, like, how were your experiences at traveling, and how did you got that niche? I might say, just to explore yourself through traveling. So, how were those experiences for you, which changed that Isha to the current Isha?
So I think I've always wanted to travel. I since maybe when I was in school, I've always wanted to travel, but I also did not want to depend on anybody to
Hmm.
finance my travel or
Hanji.
anything. So as soon as I became independent
Hmm.
financially,
Hmm.
I started doing it. And there was this one trip that I took with my girls, and
Hmm.
I was just there, and I thought that I think I need to do it more often, and maybe I need to do some solo traveling as well.
Hmm.
So the next trip, I think the very next month, I set off to one of these places and I spent a month there. And it made me so happy. It made me so happy. I remember calling my mother and telling her that, I just want to keep doing it. I don't want to stop. And I think that's been happening since then. The very next month, again, I booked ticket for another place. And then I just continued doing it and have been
Hmm.
doing it since then.
Great. So, but like, what defines your happiness in those aspects? Is it meeting with people, or let's say it's just mingling in a new culture, or just get to knowing the other side, the other reality? What exactly is it that makes you happy during such expeditions?
I think it's a mix of everything.
Acha.
Meeting new people, definitely it's there.
Hmm.
But then the joy of being in a different land, being in a different scenery, and enjoying the culture, kind of really indulging in it. So I don't like short trips. I don't like weekend trips or
Anji.
anything. So I
Hmm.
do that, but I love to stay in a place for a very long time to understand what kind of life people live there
Hmm.
and what are the places that make them, what are the situations that make them, and to what is it to live like a local there. So
Hmm.
we've stayed in places and we are so accustomed to it, so we
Hmm.
know how things go there. But we sure need to step out and see how other people are living in this world. So that kind of excites me, and
Hmm.
yeah, meeting new people is always there. You learn a lot
Hmm.
from
Yeah.
them. I just sit there, and I think most importantly, now it's more about solo traveling that I just did on my last trip. It's about meeting yourself, finding yourself. You spend so much time with yourself. You eat alone in a restaurant. You go out alone. You take walks. There's no one to talk to. I think you just with yourself too much that it's amazing. You find yourself in some ways that
Hmm.
you never
Hmm.
knew existed in you. So yeah.
Agreed, agreed. Definitely. I think once you find yourself, you start creating more sense for the world, and maybe you start finding more similar people. I think on that level, right? That how integrated
Yes.
you are within is how integrated you would make the world outside. So yeah, I think yeah, that would definitely be a very good quote to end it on. That, like, become integrated in your character, maybe. But any last parting words you'd like to convey for the audience or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm a very good preacher or something. I like to believe that, but no. But if you'd like to take away something from here, is that just live your life. Um, do not do not really listen to any other noise but yourself. Whatever you like to do, just keep doing that. And I think if you continue to do that, you'll be able to work on your mental health issues as we spoke about. You'll be able to enjoy your life in a much better way. And yeah, just kind of live it to the fullest.
Hmm.
That's all I want to say.
Great. Great. I think maybe you can just end this here. Just stop this recording. So, yeah. Thank you.